Hi guys, it's Deborah. So I thought I would just do this little impromptu video about kind of how I'm feeling and where I'm at. It really basically has to do with like the winter blues, feeling in a funk, just kind of like in a fog and so yeah, what I'm going to do is just kind of share how I'm feeling about my situation. I'm not in any way, shape or form a therapist or any kind of professional in that department. I'm just going to share my experience with being in a funk, or however, I'm just going to call it a funk because I'm not going to label it as any kind of a diagnosis, because I'm not entitled to do that. So but anyways, yeah, so I'm just going to share my experience of how I've been feeling and how I'm sorting it out. I feel like what I'm feeling today, which is, I'm just going to call it a funk because I'm still trying to figure out what's actually going on. At first, so this feeling kind of started for me in the beginning of December. And, into late November, I was feeling great. And then things started to shift in December around, I was starting to build out my van, and I was sharing that whole build. And also we were having like just nonstop rain, torrential rain, and I was so into getting my build done, and it was so challenging. And I just kept going from project to project. I think I made 4 videos of my build, and that was all done in December. And the rain just didn't let up. So I think what started to happen is, that SAD, right? Seasonal affective disorder. I'm not saying I'm diagnosed with that, but it felt like those were the symptoms I was having. And it just went on and on and on. And so that's what started it. And then I got physically, absolutely physically exhausted. But I didn't want to stop. So I didn't let myself rest. And that was a mistake. So it basically went from SAD type of symptoms to physical exhaustion, frustration. But I was kind of ignoring those signals because, mentally I wanted to go. I had all these plans and all this stuff that I wanted to do. And so I pushed through that. And then, so then once I was physically exhausted, I just stopped, I just stopped everything. And I was now in a deeper funk, right? It was like everything. And on top of that, having to do YouTube, not having to, but I had committed to creating YouTube videos at least once a week. So I wanted to meet my own, deadlines or commitments, because on top of that, I didn't want to feel like I had let myself down or my subscribers. So that felt like a serious pressure, and I kind of bottomed out about a week or so ago. And and how I know I kind of bottomed out was because we started to have a couple of sunny days, and I always rely that once we have a long stretch of rain, that when the sun comes out, it is going to lift my mood. So for the last couple days, I guess, the sun has been out, and normally I'm super active, right? Especially when it's sunny, I get a lot of stuff done. I just have a lot of energy. And I think that's also part of it. When I was I felt like oppressed or caged, in some way because of the rain and the constraints that I felt, because I couldn't just go and exercise. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I stopped really going to the gym. So that much to say, this morning when I woke up and the sun was shining and it was so beautiful, and I still felt that. In fact, I felt irritated and just not good. I just for me, how I describe it is when there's a radio station that's off station, but it's right up to your ear. It's just blah. But the thing is, I have the insight to know that what was happening to me was not a matter of circumstance, right? It wasn't like when it was raining nonstop. Like, I had the freedom today to go and do anything I wanted, but I really just wanted to crawl back into bed. And that low place kind of scares me a bit. So what I try to do is figure it out. That's my analytic brain, is like, what's going on? Especially because another thing that happens that kind of compounds that is that, when I share how I'm feeling with certain people, or even in general, the message I was getting back was, your life is amazing, Deborah. Like, look at all the things you have accomplished, and all that's true. I am not one, like, I am come from a place of total gratitude. I know I'm blessed, and it's not a lack of that. It's not me, feeling like a victim or anything. So what I decided that, with all these different messages flying around, that this is more of like a chemical thing. It wasn't, because our brains are so complex. And I feel like for me, if I'm just kind of get more than 2 or 3 hits of like basically circumstances, that's enough to throw me down. And so I don't know if I'd call it a depression, but what I know for sure is it's probably in that realm. And I don't like to feel like that. It's, I'm the person I'm pretty happy, and I'm pretty active, and, all those kinds of things. So when something slows me down, and I'm pretty sure at this point it's more of a chemical thing. So whether that would be called a depression or not, I don't know, but I know it's not a matter of, me not appreciating things in my life, or feeling grateful and all that stuff. Because really my life is amazing, and I have accomplished a lot, and I'm proud of myself. I've overcome some pretty big stuff. So yeah, just, accepting. So what's helping me is just accepting that, right? Because of the messaging. And I know that when people say, just pull your bootstraps up, you got a great life, things are going well for you, it's all very well intentioned. But what happens well, at least for me, is I'm feeling these things and I'm communicating it, and then, the message back is like, just move on, or let it go. But if it's chemically affecting you, that's not the remedy, right? And so it's hard. But what I figured out for me is that I just accept that this is where I am in this moment, and, just nurture myself. Acceptance is the thing that just, I don't know, it just makes it all okay all of a sudden. And you can just let go of trying to figure it out. It's just, here's where I'm at. I'm feeling this stuff, and it's okay. I don't have to know all the answers right now. And, it's not a matter of I'm not grateful for my life, or I'm not appreciating the things I have. It's really not. And then I just remove the shame. Not that there's very much, there's really not much shaming anymore, I hope, in the world, because there has been such work done on stigmatizing any kind of mental health things, right? So thank God for that. But there are still people that come, that are not in a good place. And that's another thing, is I choose to avoid any kind of messaging or environment or energy that is going to make my personal situation worse, right? And so, yeah, so those two things, acceptance and shame, are like removing the shame even from your own self, because when you stop shaming yourself, then if someone tries to shame you, it just won't hit you, right? And that's been powerful for me, like, just speaking of today. It's like, this is how I'm feeling. It's not great. There's a lot of things I would rather do, but I take the time and take care of myself, not expecting for, like, nobody else can take care of you except for you. And then I started thinking, okay, what are some of the things I can do in my environment? And number one, I have my van. Even when I'm feeling low and down, I'm so grateful for my van, because I can take myself to the places I want to be or need to be. You know, sometimes just a day of driving is really nice for me. I listen to the radio and I just see all the things around me. Or just staying in my van, or going to a location that, like where I am right now, I'm at the most incredible Miracle Beach on Vancouver Island. This place lights me up, you guys. It is so beautiful. And I kind of also have, like, you know, I'm not religious at all, but I have a very spiritual connection with nature and, you know, the universe. And this is kind of where I get my love, right? I feel loved when I'm here. I feel nurtured. I feel supported. And so I feel like, you know, and I'm not giving anybody advice, but I'm just saying, here's some of the strategies that work for me. And I'm just sharing this, you know, vulnerable moment with you guys in hopes that it, you know, somebody else out there who may feel the same way. Well, I'm here. I'm in it. I'm so in this. But feeling the sunshine and being in my, you know, my happy place, and just being like honest with myself, honest with you guys. Life is not always ups and downs, even when you're up, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys, because I know I'm not alone. And I know other people go through it and it's difficult. And I know what I need. So things like that, if I'm open and vulnerable, and I am with, you know, a small minute of people in my life who I love and care about and trust, right? That's another big thing, is to just be who you are. And if the people in your life can't accept that, or even like acknowledge that, then they're probably not the greatest people to have around, especially in low moments like this. And so some of the other things I find help is, well, I went to get some vitamins, because the other thing, it feels very physical to me, in the sense that, you know, I feel like I'm walking through cement, like that fatigue, just like, it's just like knocks me down. And, you know, the mental fog. And another one that's like so uncomfortable for me is feeling irritated. Like, it's just like, shh. And I can't shake it. And I've tried, even when I go to the gym, it's hard. But on top of that, I think that going to the gym, for me, physical exertion also helps shift, because I think it can boil down to, you know, hormones out of whack, or, you know, especially for women, so many things can go out of whack that you don't know it's happening until, and I feel like it's either hormonal or, you know, something physical like that. And then acceptance about that as well. You know, I'm in my 50s, and sometimes I'm frustrated because I can't do the things I did in my 20s and 30s. But I still try. And that doesn't really get me down, because, like, you know, we're all going to age. So, yeah, I just embrace my aging process. Yeah, guys, so those are some of the things that I've recognized. Thought I would share them with you, just being out here walking. But I also wanted to say, like, you guys, my subscribers, lift me up. Like 98% of you. Sometimes what has compounded these for me is when I wake up in the morning, you know, I have my little routine, and then sometimes I'll open my comments to reply to you guys. And if one of the messages I receive are from, you know, one of these really unhappy, miserable people that I don't know why, something in their world is really wrong, and so they project that. And it usually doesn't affect me, because I kind of know why those people are like that, because, you know, happy people don't do that stuff, and content people don't write that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I know that. So usually those types of messages that come from people who are, you know, I'm going to say like slightly disturbed, because like I said, healthy people just don't do that stuff. But, you know, I find when I'm in the low place, and something more negative happens, or I read something, and I find it disturbing. That's the word, because if people can leave nasty messages on a channel, like I'm just a girl working through, like I'm just a girl building out my van, you know, improving my life, taking control of my life, and sharing that with others and hope to inspire others. And you know, some people lose their minds, and and I'm just, you know, I'm not overly opinionated. I'm not sharing my political views. I'm just sharing like how I'm rebuilding my life. So when I see that and I'm already down, and then I realize that, you know, how disturbing these comments or people are, I'm just like, you know, and probably that's my responsibility, is to not open my comments when I'm feeling that low. But sometimes, you know, reading comments from most of you guys are like, lift me up, inspire me, encourage me. I feel supported by you guys, right? But you can't control, you know, what comes into your world. I'm usually pretty, like I gatekeep my life really well, so that I don't let that kind of energy in. But, you know, I have a YouTube channel, and I let people express themselves, because even when it's negative or what I call disturbing, it doesn't impact me, because all I do is feel bad for those people. Because can you imagine, like, I can't even imagine thinking some of the things people say, let alone say it out loud, like, and to somebody. Like, go out of your way, get your keyboard out and type something like that. Anyways, like I said, it's just disturbing. And I hope those people get some kind of help or try to be happy, because yeah, it's just not right. Plain and simple. Something is really wrong when people do that. But, you know, when you're just walking along, and all of a sudden you just get blindsided, and somebody just like, people don't realize what their words do. Yeah, so that makes it harder, right? I'm pretty secure in who I am and how I'm navigating this life, and I understand where, you know, this disturbing people come from, and what, you know, you have to have experienced some horrid shit to go out and write stuff on people's channel like that. Some of the things my eyes have read, I'm just like, wow. Anyways, I'm just gonna wrap that up, because guys, I have my theories, and it doesn't really matter, because it has nothing to do with me when people go off like that and are experiencing, you know, psychological or pathological something. Has really nothing to do with me. So what is really good for me is to talk to you guys, to my camera. It's this venting process. It's not like, I'm not complaining. I feel like acknowledging it, accepting it, letting go of any shame or resistance to it. It just all of a sudden starts to dissipate, like I'm feeling right now. And be in a place that's supportive of you, or you feel loved and safe and peaceful. So important. I feel like me opening up, feeling vulnerable to you guys, to the world, to the internet land, then it creates space for other people to feel that, experience, all those things that I just expressed, that, how I help myself. Not going to be the thing for everybody, obviously, but it's a good start. And then, of course, if things go, a little bit wanky, you go and there's so many supports, at least here in Canada, that if you need help, it's available. If you need, all the things that I'm sure people know are resources to help you if you're not being able to support yourself. And I highly encourage that. I highly encourage people to take steps towards improving themselves, or just needing to feel supported. Since we went through COVID, it just has affected so many people, on every level. So I know I'm not the only one out there experiencing it, especially when you know that you have so many amazing things going on in your life, and you still feel down. I think it's then probably a chemical thing, or who knows. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sharing my stuff, guys. So the message in all of this is, it's okay, right? It's totally okay. And you know what? Just saying that, everything just starts to go away. For the physical part, I know the things I can do. Like I had stopped taking D3. I forget why. I think it was in my storage unit, and I just, kept forgetting it. But anyways, D3, vitamin D3, especially here, if you're in a northern part of the world that you don't get as much sunshine in these particular months. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but vitamin D3 helps me. Exercise helps me. And that's medicine. To me, that's medicine. Moving my body, being out in nature, supporting the things where I know my body may be lacking, like vitamins and healthy eating. Because especially, I don't know if I'm the only one here. I don't believe I am, but sometimes when I get so low, I can turn to, food to comfort me, because I don't take any other like substances, like, majorly. Yeah, so it's important too to recognize if you find yourself, reaching for things that you would normally eat. Like, I think to myself, okay, how do I live my life when I'm on top of my game, and what kind of decisions do I make? And then I try to make those same decisions when I'm low, because I know I'll be back up. Anyways, that's how I process. I am a person who takes on challenges, even my own challenges. But not everybody's like that. And so I guess my message again is just, it's okay, right? It's okay for me. It's okay for you. It's okay for everybody. Just take responsibility for yourself and try not to project things on other people, or, like I get, today anyways, I felt myself being really irritable. So it's like, don't talk on the phone. Don't get into complicated issues, relationship issues. Try to stay out, like, put yourself in a safe place where, those kind of potential dangerous things can affect, right, your circle and your world, because it's kind of hard to undo things, even if you're doing it from a place of being in a low place. I find some of the times when I have not really been in touch with what I'm going through, and then it comes out, all sideways and jumbled, and then sometimes it's hard to go back and unsay the things that have been said or done, or all those things. So anyways, guys, I hope you're enjoying this amazing space here. Stunningly beautiful. I feel so amazing, and there's nobody here. Normally the Miracle Beach is just packed out in the summertime. So I'm giving this to you guys as well. I hope it helps. I hope this little talk helps. I know it's helping me. I'm grateful for you guys always. And yeah, so I'm going to close out this video, guys. Thank you if you're still here with me hanging out while I vent or express myself. I really appreciate it. And I also send out lots of love and care and kindness to anybody else who's experiencing this kind of stuff. So guys, I'm going to close out this video. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe button. I have some cool stuff coming out soon. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.